Jurassic World Dominion is set to unveil two new species of raptor to the Jurassic Park franchise, one of which is yet to be seen, the feathered Pyroraptors. However, the other raptor tribe is currently going by the name ATROCIRAPTOR, which happens to have a lot of interesting similarities to the old school Velociraptor packs from the other movies. This new breed of dinosaur has only really been seen once so far on a piece of Dominion merchandise. However, very old photos from the set also gave us a look at how large the animals are during a city scene. In this video, I'm going to go into detail about what exactly these dinosaurs could mean for the franchise and what role they could play in Dominion. With their debut appearance being mixed with both the Pyroraptors as well as Blue, things are certain to get pretty interesting. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now, for today's video, we're going to be going into detail on what these new raptors could mean for JP6. So right off the bat, some of you will have already picked up on the fact that the dinosaurs are sharing color schemes that are somewhat similar to raptors that we saw in the first set of films. This includes the tiger-striped male variants from the Lost World, as well as the alpha female design from Jurassic Park 3. Now, both of these raptor designs have so far only been observed on Isla Sorna, which could be yet another connection to that embryo box Colin teased us all with last year from Site B. I'm not saying that the connection will be overtly said out loud in some expository dialogue explaining their connections to the Lost World and JP3, but in my opinion, the color schemes definitely do feel like they've been selected specifically from those films. Now, you'll also notice that only one of these dinosaurs has the alpha female scheme, which is leading me to believe that it's more than likely that this is the pack leader of the bunch, similar to what Blue was in Jurassic World. Speaking of Blue, she and her kind in the previous 5 films have been now confirmed to be recognized as Velociraptor mongoliensis, which is something that I've discussed multiple times in the past, but this new breed is acknowledged as ATROCIRAPTOR, or at least so far anyways. Now, what's so interesting about ATROCIRAPTOR is the fact that in the scientific record, it shares somewhat of a similar size to Velociraptor, yet it's never been confused for the other well-known JP Raptor classification of Deinonychus, which some of you may recognize as being what the Jurassic Park Velociraptors were originally based on. Now, I think it would have been a more interesting and proper idea to identify these new creatures as Utahraptors based on their size. However, I will say that the comparison to the Velociraptors in both real-world science as well as the JP universe in terms of size and shape is already kind of an interesting aspect to think about for these films, and they more than likely have been designed by Dr. Wu or Biosyn or whoever for some sort of specific purpose. Think of them as the likely savage version of the Raptor Squad from 2015. ATROCIRAPTOR actually means savage raptor or savage robber, so I don't think it's that crazy to believe. Now, in terms of how they'll play a role in Dominion, all we really have to go by so far is this image, which is leading me to believe that the dinosaurs will more than likely be juxtaposed with Blue or even the feathered Pyroraptors that we haven't seen at some point in time during the plot. Jurassic World Dominion is set to include a ton of species, both old and new, as well as different versions of the animals, such as the prehistoric and modern day variants that we already know about from the Dominion prologue. So ATROCIRAPTOR could serve as some sort of interesting look at how the science of Jurassic World has developed and changed over the years in universe. Now, I think it goes without saying that these things are going to kill some people. Otherwise, it wouldn't really be a Jurassic Park movie if that didn't happen. And so far, both the packs from The Lost World and Jurassic World have ranked up the most kills, with the pack from 2015 definitely having the more violent and bloody showcase of the two. That scene where one of them actually rips the face of the guy who we're looking at through the POV of the face cam and just blood pours out all over it, it's quick, but it's pretty hardcore if you think about it. So what does this say about what we can expect to see from the ATROCIRAPTORs? Well, in my opinion, while they do share the color schemes of some of the older raptor tribes, these guys are more than likely going to be specifically bred and designed by a genetics company for a similar use to that of Blue's old pack. Maybe they even send them after people to attack, just like what we've seen go down in the old 1990s Jurassic Park comic books, which Jurassic World has definitely taken some inspiration from. There's whole story arcs where Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler actually train a group of raptors, Alf, Betty, and Celia, which it's just, you can see Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World taking inspiration from that wholeheartedly. So I think it could mean that we could see some very Jurassic World inspired violence, only with the look of some of those Site B animals. Overall, the skull structure of these new raptors is the only significant thing that I think sets them apart from the raptors of old, because the body types seem to be around the same comparison and design to what we've seen before in Jurassic Park's past. But when it comes to how the movie will utilize these guys, I think that's where it gets really interesting. If you go back and watch The Lost World, which is what I personally consider to be the darkest film in the series, the raptors in that movie don't actually kill anyone on screen, or at least they don't deliver a killing blow on screen. They're shot in a very moody and almost implied manner where people are yanked away and left to die in the imaginations of the audience that are watching at the time. Jurassic World, however, went pretty hardcore with its depiction of animal attacks, and in my opinion, has by far the most brutal velociraptor kills that we've ever really seen in the movies. The only thing I can think of that even remotely compares to what Jurassic World did was Muldoon's death in the original film, which happened to be bloodless, unlike what went down in Jurassic World with this mercenary, who by the way was actually played by the same actor from the Lost World, who apparently survived the trip to Site B on Ludlow's Isla Sorna harvesting mission. He can be seen right here trying to get Carter's attention to get back with the group. What a way to die. You're able to avoid the Site B raptor tribe in the long grass, but get taken out in a grisly fashion during the fall of Jurassic World. It's a pretty cool little piece of trivia in my opinion. Now, the reason I'm bringing all of this up is mainly due to the ATROCIRAPTOR's color schemes being reminiscent of the packs from Isla Sorna. We still don't know how or why Site B will be featured in the movie, but if we ignored the obvious tribute to JP2 and JP3 in Dominion that we can see right here, I think we'd be missing some sort of interesting material that could play a part in the lore overall. So when it comes to my own personal theories, I don't actually know if Velociraptor DNA ever really played a part of the creation of this new species in Dominion, but if I had to guess, I'd actually say it didn't. There could definitely be a cool bit of hidden hybridization going on that we don't know about, but at face value, I'm going to guess that this is just what the ATROCIRAPTORs look like in the Jurassic World universe. But maybe one of the reasons they look the way they do has something to do with old school Jurassic Park genetic material being harvested by Dr. Wu and used in the new movie. Site B is known to have been pillaged and strip mined in order to help create Jurassic World, but this new breed of animal was never known to be living on that island. So maybe there is something going on here when it comes to their creation in the long run, but right now it may just be a fun little Easter egg for fans like us to recognize and nothing more. You know, like, oh look, they're using the old sequel colors. That might just be the extent of it. But rest assured, I'm putting my money on the fact that Blue and the Pyroraptors are going to be compared against these guys in the new film. Maybe even in a way where the three species are sort of looked at as a collective set of some of the most dangerous Jurassic Park creatures when it comes to how they're handled. We've got Blue representing the old ways, the Pyroraptors being that of the feathery science, and then these guys, which have a lot of interesting mysteries about them so far. But hey, those are all just my own thoughts and opinions on the subject matter. What do you guys think? Why are these raptors designed the way they are, and what purpose do you think they'll serve in the new movie? Whatever your own thoughts happen to be, I'd love to hear them in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens, as well as all of my InGen executives. I'd also like to thank all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. Guys, it really means the world to me that you all continue to support what I do, and I never want you to ever forget that. Now, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope that you all enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.